Since the war began, I haven't experienced silence in my head. When I'm climbing and I reach the state of just silence, and the one thing that's important right now is for me to just keep climbing, and doing something as simple as that can be very helpful in light of a situation as horrible as this.
Rock climbing, a seemingly simple activity of putting your hands and feet on rock and progressing upward, has found a deeper context for some Palestinians in the West Bank. As war rages in Gaza with more than 40,000 Palestinians killed so far, according to the Hamas-run Gaza Ministry of Health, many Palestinians in the West Bank are left with a sense of helplessness as daily life churns under Israeli control.
I grew up in the town of Kfar Aqab. Kfar Aqab is part of Jerusalem, but in the year 2004, they separated Kfar Aqab from Jerusalem by the apartheid wall, and they started setting up checkpoints. I remember as a little kid watching these huge concrete walls being built and carried with all this really big machinery, and being really scared of it. The apartheid wall, it separated my house from my friends' houses, it separated my house from school, it separated me from my cousins, my relatives. It literally was put in the middle of my life.
With the struggle of daily life becoming more mentally and emotionally taxing, many seek ways to pass the time and cope with the stress.
It's a natural question as to what value climbing has when a country is in a state of war. And yeah, in a way, it seems like climbing is frivolous and unnecessary. On the other hand, climbing can be a real avenue of hope and optimism and sort of connection with nature and all the things that humans need to feel like they're thriving.
When you live in a country where you feel like everything that could go wrong is going wrong, it does feel hopeless. And we're not even in it. We're far away from Gaza. We're separated from it. Climbing is first of all, in this war, it's something that is very familiar to me and something that I've been really focusing on to stay sane is doing the things that are familiar to me. I too need to live. I'm a human being. I can't sit at home all the time just watching the news. It can drive anyone insane. The climbing community, getting to see them, getting to see my friends, sharing our stories, sharing our feelings about the war and realizing that we're not alone in this.
With the war raging in Gaza and tensions growing in the West Bank, day-to-day life and activities like climbing have become increasingly more difficult and sometimes even dangerous.
It's been very challenging to keep climbing while the war is going on. A lot of the crowds that we used to go to, they were being developed. We stopped going there now because we're no longer allowed to get there. And the settler harassment, it used to be just settler harassment. Now it's actually deadly for us to go there. And so we avoid that. There's no one that I can call and be like, hey, I'm getting attacked by settlers, which had happened before. I was harassed by a settler before, and he had called the Israeli army on me, and I had a gun pointed at me, at my face. They had illegally kicked me out of the mountain, though I had every right to be there.
For Asia, climbing is about finding joy amid oppression, often seen as a form of resistance.
We don't feel free in our own country. We don't feel free to express ourselves. We don't feel free to live normal lives just like regular people should live their lives. And so climbing is the opposite of all of that. When I'm at the crowd climbing in Palestine, I don't see the apartheid wall. I don't see the Israeli army. I don't see the political aspect of living in Palestine. It's just me climbing nature and the community, which is really precious to me, and it means a lot to me that I get to have this privilege of being able to go into the mountain and climb. A lot of us are refugees. A lot of us have had their lands seized over the years by Israel, and it slowly happens. And so us climbing in these lands assert the Palestinians' existence, and it connects us to our land. It physically connects us to our land that we so very much appreciate.